Hi everyone, it's Adrienne Leah. As you can see, there's a lot to show in this video and a lot to talk about. In addition to me rambling about random things. So I'll get to as much as I can in this video. But I wanted to start off with two of the cards that I pulled today because this is going to be knitting and deck related. I showed this deck in a previous video, Into the Lonely Woods, and it's the deck that I've been having out that I do my card pulls from, and I wanted to share the ones that I pulled today. I don't pull them out every day, but when I feel like I would like to pull them, I change it and then the cards stay there and then I look at them. So the two that I got are card 35, The Consolations of Isolation. And I love this sweet quietness that I feel I get from looking at this card. Alongside that card is the card 18, The Littlest Blessing. So I'll read both of them. Seclusion can feed the spirit, and with that nourishment comes a rebirth. So many people and beings take themselves away from society and people, from the chatter and from the gatherings and the beautiful noise that is our collective. The sense of our separate for a time is nothing to fear, for you are separate, you are unique, you are experiencing the multiplicity through the oneness of your being. Being alone can heal us and bring us back from the dark place that is loneliness, the state that we can experience even when amongst others. The comforting, healing qualities of solitude are yours, and these arrive spontaneously, unscheduled, without artifice. Your spirit desires you to breathe light right through your entire being until you shine with the radiance that is your soul. And the second one there is a little good fortune right at your fingertips. It is sweet and small, but is this blessing that will see your energy open up to receive even more of the same. Destiny wishes you to be content, to feel loved, and to see the wonder in every small thing this day. Look about you, for right there in the smallest of places are the blessings that you've been yearning for yet missing. Open your new eyes to the world, and once went unseen and unappreciated can be truly known for the very first time. Look with eyes of wonder at the little miracles of the world. When you do this, the gates of all good things swing open for you. And as I read that, my nose just kept getting so itchy. I wanted to give a little update on the deer spirit. So it was interesting because it was one day where my friend called me from New England, and she told me that there's a deer in her yard, which is unusual because she lives in the city area of New England. And she said that when she saw the deer, she knew to call me. So the next day, because she said it was a sign for me, so the next day I received what the sign was for, along with a sign of my own, and I did see a raven right next to me as I was getting gas before I went into work. So it was letting me know who was coming. So I thought that was so special. The last episode, I didn't show the yarn that I wanted to show. So I have 2 projects that I'm going to be casting on after I finish the 2 small ones, because after the gift garment, I'm going to knit another garment, so that would be different. But the yarn that I got the other day is tweed, which is special for me because I saw this in my local yarn shop, and I'm so happy because I live less than 10 minutes away from a local yarn shop, and it's the one that the owners are from New England, so it makes it so special. So I got these. I've seen them in the shop and they were the last ones there. I went back to get them because I knew that I wanted to knit on them. Of course, I have other things that I'm knitting, so I didn't get them right away, but I got them when I had a chance to go there. So it's Deluxe DK Tweed Superwash in navy. Oh, so you can see the tweed in here. I knew that I wanted to knit from this, and it wasn't until recently that as soon as I saw the pattern, I knew that that was exactly what I was going to do with them. So I'm going to knit a shawl. I haven't knit a shawl in a long time. So the contrasting color will be a Patagonia in pearl. So I love the contrast of this one because it has a more subdued, unique grayish undertone to it that goes well with the navy, because I do have some beiges or creams or ivories that I didn't want to pair with this, but this has the contrast that I'm looking for. And it's going to be a Fiber Tales shawl, and I love her patterns. I knit 2 pairs of the I'm going to pronounce them as hydra mitts. I knit a pair for my mom for Mother's Day, and I knit a pair for myself. So mine is gray, and it's a heathered gray, and I do love it. And hers is in cocoa. It's a Malabrigo yarn, so I do like to give the softer yarn for gift knits. I think that it's more comfortable on the skin, unless I know that they like rustic yarn like me. But I'm so excited to start it because I have seen the finished objects on Ravelry, and I am so excited because I love the color choices that they've used, and some have used more than 2. I'm just going to use 2 colors for this. And that shawl will be after I finish the second mitten. That's from the Knitted Kalevala. It's a Finnish color work book, or it's a Finnish knitwear designer. I love these colors. I got them in a set when I was looking on the Woolly Thistles website, and I saw that they had the color palette that was used in the book, which is this one, and this is Rumagarn, as I talk about it a lot on my videos. And then there was another color combination, but I love the rustic colors of this mitten, so I haven't blocked it yet, but right now it's just on my board of knitting, and I would love to finish this so I can wear it, but I also wanted to knit it in another color combination, and it would be nice to make them as gift knits too. Sorry, so the color combination that I want to do is a red and a black, and these are Patagonia yarn. This one is in ruby, and this one is in anthracite. That's the name here. So I've seen this color combination in the Latvian mittens, so I wanted to make them for myself too. And this is still 100% wool. It's a DK, but it is on the thinner side, so I feel like I could still use it. Otherwise, I do have other yarn that I have from Rumagard. It was in a set, and so I got the whole set because I have socks that I would like to knit. That will be further in down the line, because I do have other socks that will be a gift knit that I'm going to knit after I finish my tarot bag, because I decided what deck I wanted to put in this bag. So this was originally going to be a fingerless mitten, and I do have more sets from Hobby Wool because it comes from Latvia, but the shipping can be costly, so the set itself isn't expensive, but it's almost the same amount as the shipping, so I added another mitten set that I'm going to knit, and that one I'm going to make as mittens at some point. But I love the way that it's turning out. I just have to do the last couple of rows. I am going to make this into a drawstring bag instead of doing a flap because of the way that it ends, and I kind of didn't want to keep going with knitting a lot more, so I will take my sewing machine out because I don't think I'm going to hand knit this or hand sew this, where after I finish the last couple of rounds and then it ends with the black, I will fold over on the inside to put the drawstring through, and then it'll in a bunch. And I'm excited because I am gradually making deck bags, and some of them I'm replacing too as I progress. But I put a deck that I do use frequently, and it's the Elven Tarot, so it's a low Scarabeo deck, and I do love low Scarabeo decks. I love the cardstock. I love the way that it shuffles too, so I usually put the decks, or I usually make bags for decks that I use more than others, and then it kind of goes down the line from there on if I'm going to make a bag for it. I did keep some of the boxes. I don't usually keep boxes for my decks, but some of them I like. So this one I do enjoy reading. It has a lot of personality, and then I feel like it's one of those storyteller decks that I do love. has a lot of energy. I feel like it gives a lot of light to the reading, not necessarily positive. It's neither or is it? It's not what I'm really talking about, but it's more that it has a lot of fire to it, I would say. You know, even though a lot of the cards are more wintry and they do have a storyline to it, and the Little White Book does talk about it briefly. There is a larger version of the deck where it comes with the actual book instead of the Little White Book. But this one is good. I don't really reference the book, and it depends how I want to read the deck. Sometimes I want to read it and maybe know some background to it, but there are other decks where I feel a little, not weird, but sometimes when I learn more about the background of the deck, it changes how I read the deck, and sometimes I prefer it, sometimes I don't. So I'm so excited to be almost done with this, and then I'll have extra yarn left over too, so I'm definitely gonna make something out of it, out of them. And this bag is from an Etsy seller in Germany. It has the horses. When I saw it, I thought it was so pretty, and I just felt like I would use it. This one is actually one that is on one of my shelves, on the yarn shelves. And then I have a basket where I keep a lot of my project bags. I don't have too many project bags, but the ones that I have, I specifically picked. So I wanted to show my gift sweater again, and then the next time will probably be when I actually finish it, because I finished one sleeve and then I just have one more sleeve to go. So it's the Nuna sweater, and I finished one sleeve. So exciting. I did try it on. It's not for me, but I feel like they kind of are similar in sizes. I usually knit a large for myself for mainly the bust circumference, and then this is a men's medium that he has muscle, but then I have curves, so I kind of feel like they are almost similar because it's again a men's medium. And he already tried it on before I was doing the sleeves, and sorry, they're playing in the background. I love the way that's turning out, and it's super cozy. It's also using Patagonia too. I'm trying to get the gift knits going, and then before it gets cold, and this is the one that I knit when I'm on break at work. So one of my favorite online shops, I didn't realize how poofy my dress was on video. So I didn't, one of the yarn shops that I purchased from is the Woolly Thistle, and they were having a sale on Rumagarn where it was 6 skeins for the price of 5. So I went on the site to look at the color combinations, because what I really liked is that they had different options, and I chose the marigold option, and there was one that was, there's some for specific colors like pinks, greens, blues, purples, and there was a regional one of a forest themed one, and mine had a lot of contrast to mine, and I wanted to eventually make myself socks because I have a bit of a lineup of projects that I'm gonna do, and I really wanted to get this because it was nice that they chose the colors for you. So I got a red one, we have a coal, this is an off-white. I have more of a darker red here. I wouldn't say it's a maroon. This is more of a like a has like gray undertones to it, and a green, and I love the combination. I love the way that they set it up and had it in the bag. So I'll hold these up. I'm so excited to use them. And I wanted to knit from my Latvian sock book, Knit Like a Latvian. I'll use 5 of the colors, but I'm definitely going to use the colors for different things. I was thinking I would do the sunflower pattern, which is this one. I got a lot of the knitting content out, so now I'm going to talk more about decks. But before I talk about the decks, I wanted to show some kitchen mittens that I got the other day. They were only $5 each, and I have gotten mittens where it was a towel set and then it would come with 1 mitten, which is fine. But since there was an opportunity to get 2, I figured that I would get 2 of them. They had a shorter option where it was like that, but when I tried it on, the other one, it felt a little strange to me, so I didn't get that one, but it had like a mauve-y color to it, which was nice. This is more of a pink and like a folk mitten, and I'm gonna actually show some other things that I got for my kitchen. Not much, but I did get a flower container because I was looking for one, because I've been storing them in like plastic bags, and then I put them in one of the bottom cabinets in my kitchen, but now I am able to have the main one that I've been using, which is the bread flour one. And I did make molasses bread today. I just finished it not too long ago, and then it says to sit for 2 hours, which I did mention because I filmed a little video showing my flour container and it being in one section of my kitchen, and I'm so excited. I've never tried molasses bread before. I don't know if I've had molasses necessarily, but when it was baking, it kind of smelled like almost smoked meat, which is interesting, like a hickory sugar type of meat. So I'm interested to see or taste it to see how I like it. And there is brown sugar in it. I did do a slight modification because it asked for buttermilk, and it gives it more of acidic content to it. So I splashed it with a little lemon to hopefully compensate for that, and I think it'll be good. I did do the toothpick test and it came out clean, so you'll see that towards the end of the video again, as I said like 5 times, but I'm really excited about it. And I also got a flour sifter, which I'm so happy about because I've been looking for one. I don't know what they're called, but it's like one of those cups that you press and then the flour comes out of the bottom, but I haven't been able to find it for a while. And I found it because I had to go to Target. I was in the area already as it was, and then Target was across the street because I had to get cat food because I went to Wegmans last night. And this is me rambling rambling again, because I went to Wegmans last night because it is a quiet city area, but it does get crowded sometimes. So I tend to go to Wegmans, and I do love going to Wegmans because there's a large selection of stuff, and there's a lot of affordable things too. So I went there to get my groceries, and I didn't see much pet food aside from refrigerated dog food. So I waited the next day to go to Target. And then I also got a car vacuum. Nothing fancy or anything, but I'm not saying I avoid human interaction, but I am a little shy when it comes to going to the gas station or anywhere to clean my car. The last time I went, I was trying to dig for coins because I had it was like $2 and I didn't really have cash. I don't carry cash that often. So I did have technically $2, but one of them was ripped, so the machine wouldn't take it. And then I didn't have enough coins to make it to $2. So it's like, oh, well, I'm not gonna do it now. So anyway, I have a couple more things to show. Oh, and quickly before I talk about decks, I know this is more of the basic classic knits of the Lopi books, but I'm going to make this sock because there is ribbing in there, and I thought with the latest edition it was nice for doing more men's garments. So I love the books, and I am excited to knit from them. For the more witchier items, I did go to a local metaphysical shop that I enjoy going to. It's more of what I connect with, because sometimes you go to metaphysical shops and you don't really connect with the types of items or even the environment that it is. So I like that mine is the one that I go to is one that I like to go to, and they know me, and they like, and I love that they greet me when I go there. And the place is Sixton Stones in Fairfax. So this is their bag. I had an early day at work, so I figured I would pop in, and I did get a couple of things. And there's just something about Celtic decks that I love having, and Celtic fairy decks are mainly the ones that I tend to use. So I didn't even open this yet, but I wanted to get this because I thought it was cool. It's Newton's Cradle, Signs of Motion. Fun science facts. It is said that Isaac Newton got the idea for gravity when an apple fell off a tree and hit him on the head. If you weigh 100 pounds on Earth, you would weigh 37.7 pounds on Mars and 236.4 pounds on Jupiter. So I was kind of thinking that I would do a channel intro, and I just saw this and I was thinking that's a little quirky thing that I would mention in the beginning or show in the beginning, because I love knickknacks. So I would put it on one of my shelves, and I don't know if I would be able to show it now, but it's still wrapped. And sorry, there's the noise. Trying to get the balls out. And I am going to have to probably do this maybe where there's more light so I could align them properly. But I thought this was so cool. I don't think I could pause my video. Let me see if I could do it now, but it might take a little bit to undo it. But basically they're the ones that you hit back and forth and it hits the other one, not back and forth, but it'll be something that I show in a future video. So I think I'm gonna leave it at that. Was not prepared, but it's okay. Because the strings are clear, but I'll do that in a little bit. I got this because I love the older type medieval, or again kind of Celtic music. So this was only $5 and it's a CD. So I did listen to it a couple times in my car and I was actually enjoying it. So there's 12 songs on here and it's fun to listen to. So another thing that I got is a Celtic deck, and it's the Celtic Book of the Dead by Caitlin Matthews, an oracle to steer your life journey. I did use her other deck. It was the Arthurian Tarot. I don't have it anymore, but I did enjoy using it. And then she has another deck that's out of print. So I actually did 2 spreads from this deck. So I used the spread that was on here, and use 2 decks actually. So the 2 spreads were this format. Sorry, I'm not sure if you could see it that clearly. But it's the same format, but different concept of it. Choosing your guide in your voyage. In this method, you yourself choose which guide will pilot you depending on where you are in the issue in question. So with this deck, I did the outward passage. It represents, or actually, sorry, I did the homeward voyage. Journey of return to responsibility, commitment, where the fresh insights into the INRAM can be practically utilized. This is one to take off if you have found answers but are unsure about their implementation. And then there was another deck that I used for the spread too. So I haven't gone through this one yet. I did pull out the cards, and the ones that I'm showing you now are the cards that I pulled. I was trying to get a couple of things done, but then make some time to have a video. Sorry. And I might go further into the spreads in another video because I actually enjoyed them so much that I wanted to work with them more and include it as one of my client readings. And this is the back. There's an older version of this deck where it had a different back, and then it had a cloth with it. And so I went to the metaphysical shop, and someone was saying, I worked with that deck today. It was really nice. And I'm like, oh, must be a good sign then. So then you can choose your guide, 2 different ways of taking your IMRAM. And one of them is the ever-living lady, the other immortal otherworldly woman, or the Fey woman. That was actually my first card that I got when I pulled out a card. Helps you discover the otherworldly realms, which are her dwelling place. Initiates you into the realm between the celestial and marine worlds, which border her world. All that lies between us is unknown to us. We do not recognize its functions or its implications for us. We go open-eyed and open-hearted into its wonders. She guides us, but it's our curiosity and resolve to keep us on its course. And then the other one is Marinthus, mortal man who's a walker between the worlds, so he's a mariner. He helps return to the realms of mortality so that we do not become entangled or confused by its complex wonders that we have witnessed. He has traveled the waters many times as a pilot. He knows the best courses to plot and to welcome we are likely to receive upon each island. He initiates back into our mortality, for the Imram has taught us our maturity and patience. He guides us home, but our desire to live effective lives that keep us on course. So I'm just gonna briefly say the homeward voyage and then the other reading, the outward passage. I used the druidcraft. So I didn't use the Wildwood Tarot, but I've been really connecting to the druidcraft this time around. I feel like it's just part of the tarot journey in life where you just, sorry, I don't know if it's focusing, but where you connect to some decks and then the decks that you used before, not so much. So the druidcraft I've had for a long time. Came out in 2004, but I got it around 2016. And if it's one book that I recommend for tarot references or tarot information, it would be the druidcraft book. It's one of my favorite ones. And for a long time, the druidcraft was more of a bolder, dominant, more masculine deck. But now when I look at the deck, it is still bold, but some of the cards, you know, when you look at cards, some things stand out more than others, and then maybe you look at the card again, and every time, like with a reading, you see different things, and so different things stand out to you. And some of the cards, like there was the Page of Cups, there was just a memory of when I lived in New Jersey and it was the fall. So, and that was one of those simple memories, but it's depicting different things, and I feel like you pick up the decks at different times and they teach you things that you're learning at that time. I know, very vague, but Outward Passage represents an ongoing journey which leads you to perceive fresh possibilities and new openings. It is the one to take if you're on search of answers that lie beyond your knowledge or remit. So it's the same format of cards, but it's when you lay them out, they have the different positions have different meanings. So the Homeward Voyage, Landfall is the first card, the way back home, where's the best course of action. Then it has a description, which is really nice. I'll just go through the Homeward Voyage because it's already 54 minutes in and I'm almost done. I know that there's so much and I'm enjoying this deck. It's one of those books where you really study the deck, and I haven't had that in a little bit. I did really study the Sacred Path cards, and those accompanied the medicine cards. So this is another one that I feel like you really sit down with and you get to know the cards and you get to learn more about cultural and historical information too, and even some lore that goes behind it, that as in the movie Brave, the lore has truth to it. So For landfall, represents the glimpse of solid ground after a long voyaging. How will you resolve your problem? And I won't go through all the paragraphs, but maybe in another video that isn't as long as this one, I'll talk about it more. Realm of wonders, ancestral memories, communion with the divine or the sacred. What is the source of holiness or connection to wholeness in your life? 3, the realm of the fair women, needs and inadequacies. What is the source of love and support in your life? Realm of glass, deception and difficulties. What is the source of anxiety in your life? Realm of youth, recreation and renewal. What is the source of creativity and renewal in your life? Realm of terrors, challenges to overcome. What is the source of strength in your life? Realm of the heart's desires, beauty and harmony. What is the source of inspiration in your life? Realm of many colors, change in possibilities. What is the source of versatility and adaptability in your life? And harbor, foundation and establishment. What is the gift or opportunity does your present position give to you? So I really love the way that it read with the druidcraft. And the druidcraft is a special deck to Isabel too, one of my cats. If you go on my Etsy shop, and this is not advertising or anything, Isabel is at the top and she's shown with the druidcraft cards. I have a couple of copies of it in different forms, so I did do a flip through of the 3 forms of the druidcraft, because when you get it, it's completely bordered. Then some people don't like the borders and then they trim it. And there's also just the curiosity of what would it look like without the borders. So then you deborder it. It goes down to the second border, the green one, or the stone looking one, and then you trim it all the way down without having any borders and words. So I feel like with my oldest one, the trimmed one, the cardstock and the coloration is a little richer, as with many decks that you get. And before I go further, right now, sorry, not the neatest, but right now it's in this deck bag, and it's just a Croissant yarn, and mine has been through a lot, so you may see it in the cards. Sorry. That one was better. That spread did so well with this. When I was shuffling and pulling out the cards, I was unintentionally looking at the bottom of the deck, and some of the cards were popping out, and it's always nice when a deck wants to talk. So And then lastly, because I talked about deck bags and wanting to knit more and then actually have bags for some of them, because as much as I would like to knit them, I am knitting on multiple things. So in one of my, I would say, soul decks, which is the Theater Dolls Tarot, recommended by Jane, she gave me this deck bag in our last trade, and I love it so much. When I saw it, I was freaking out. I was like, Jade, I love this. And I always feel horrible because when we do trades, she always gives me so much, she always gives me so many gifts. And I love this. It had one of the decks that I traded for, which I do enjoy working with. The Theater Dolls Tarot is a deck that I use. It's one of the top decks that I use the most. It's a Russian deck. And sorry, you're not really getting a good picture of it. This one also had the full borders. And sometimes I don't mind the borders, but for this one, it's not like I minded them, but I just was not connecting with the deck until I trimmed it all the way down, or mostly, because I left the bottom to write the cards on there. Even though the imagery is pretty clear, but it's always nice when you just look at the card and then it doesn't interrupt anything when you're reading. So I love this deck. It definitely has a lot of air in it, which is good for me. And it's so brilliant. I want to eventually get print out the English version of the guidebook. But I love this. And I did write some things that I knew that I wanted to talk about, but it's an hour, so I'm going to end it here, and I'll attach the other video showing the one kitchen area, one part of my kitchen. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was interesting, and I'll see you in another video.